you're looking at a leadership that believes they can control the narrative. And the narrative has now gone out of control.
Yeah. Catherine, I don't understand it either. It's a phenomenon that I've wrestled with ever since I've been doing this. You can go all the way back to my appearances on George Ann Hughes's Bite Show, and that's over a decade ago now. And we were wondering the same thing. Why are these people so insane? And the only thing that we could come up with, Catherine, and I think there's a great deal of truth in this, and you've pointed it out yourself, that part of the insanity has to be mind manipulation. And I think part of that in turn is that these people have surrounded themselves with their own yes men for so long that they have imbibed the very insanity that they want to project on others. And that's why they're caught like squirrels on one of those little wheels. They're just feeding their own insanity over and over again. And as they do, they become progressively more divorced from reality. So yeah, their narratives will eventually collapse because
So I
they're in the Soviet Union. They're trying to run the Soviet Union and it's collapsing.
Right. Well, it's devastating for productivity.
It
I told
absolutely
you I
is.
was in a museum with the wonderful Nina Hine, and
Yeah.
she and Ulrich Groninger had gone off to look at a different part of the floor, and I was sitting in the gallery. There's one painting from the original donations that started the museum that was quite beautiful. It was a Rosa Bonheur, and it was a picture of a cattle herd, and
Mm-hmm.
just exquisite. So I'm sitting on the sofa admiring it, and to my left is a woke, huge mural kind of painting that is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen.
I can believe it.
And a group come around to do a tour, and it's two young women wearing masks. And you have to wonder what's the mask for these days. And they're wearing masks, but they're trying to describe this painting. And they're there for at least 10 to 12 minutes while I'm waiting for Uli and Nina. And they're talking about this painting as though it's a wonderful and exquisite piece of art. And it was remarkable.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to figure out, is it because they're paid to act like it's beautiful, or they're mind controlled to believe it's beautiful, or they've just been so overeducated? Eh, You know, I was trying to come up with a logical explanation of what I was hearing. And then I realized, oh, this is really demonic. I mean, you are trying to get a society to act like up is down and down is up,
And
and
ugly is
and
beautiful. Yes.
and ugly is beautiful. And this is a kind of uh almost experiment. Needless to say, what I'm seeing is enormous pushback, enormous,
Right. Right.
all across the board, and that is creating high friction.
I do think this is going to be the year of the pushback.
Ugh.
I really do think it's going to be the year where uh not necessarily that we're gonna start to see success, but at least in the sense that we're gonna start understanding that this was a pivotal turning point year.
Right.
This was the year that battle was joined because that's what's happening.
Absolutely. And I have to say, the most fun I've had in the first quarter is I'm in someplace with a group of freedom fighters, and we're working, and something magical is happening, and it's just beautiful. And that's why I say, get off the couch. Everybody's different. Do the actions that you can do. Take action, because I got to tell you, um, you have this wave of pushback, and
Oh
it's
yes.
turning the ship. And when
Yep.
you're in the middle of it with these people, it is marvelous. It
Yep.
is
It
just,
is.
and the divine intelligence is present.
Yep.
It's it's always there. It's always present, and it's you know,
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's another thing that we need to remember. If Mr. Globaloney was able to have 100% success, we would already be in the tyranny that he has planned.
absolutely.
So there's pushback coming from somewhere, and there have been just enough upsets that his plans have not come to fruition. So keep at it.
Yep.
Keep at it.
Take action.